So the first card you have, your past, is Judgment. So yeah, I'm seeing this is about rising above, and this is about you being able to rise above. I'm seeing some kind of, I'm seeing truth, I'm seeing genuineness, and I'm seeing that there were some people around you who might have been a little bit false in a way, or maybe they were kind of just chatting and gossiping or doing some kind of silly chat, really kind of worrying about something. They might have been, I'm not seeing anyone being deliberately dishonest or anything like that. I'm just seeing that they might have been caught up in some gossip, or maybe they were kind of not being honest with themselves or something like that. Now, this might have been around the workplace or something to do with work or something like that. And I think you actually do have to, or you did at this time, you had to kind of listen to a lot of conversations that you kind of thought were a little bit silly, a little bit trivial, and you kind of rose above these things. Now, I think maybe they tried to get you involved in this, or they were kind of, oh, it's such a big scandal. Don't you care about this? Don't you care about that? Now, I think you were kind of just, maybe you were nodding your head, or maybe you weren't kind of quite getting involved in this. And, I think people were trying to get you into the middle of this, but you just didn't want to be in the middle of this, obviously. You were kind of quite distant with them. You were rising above this in your head. You had to be down on the earth. Your body had to be down on the earth, obviously. But you're like this angel. You were kind of rising above all of this kind of silliness. That's what I'm seeing. And, I think you're a very spiritual person, actually, and I think that's helped you to do that. You're actually quite high-minded. Now, I'm not saying you're above anyone else or you're better than anyone else or anything like that, but I think you saw things from a kind of a higher perspective than these particular people were seeing things. And because you have this kind of spiritual side to you, you weren't as kind of stressed about these kind of little things that these people were stressed about. So that doesn't mean that you're not, affected by anything in life. Of course, we're all affected by things, no matter how spiritual we are or whatever we are. But I think you were definitely able to rise above whatever kind of negative things or gossip or chat or worries these people had. You were kind of listening a little bit, but kind of thinking, no, that doesn't really worry me as much as it worries these people. I hope that makes sense. The next card you have for your past is the Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, I love this card, obviously. And this is again showing me your spiritual position, that you have this kind of high, I don't mean to say it in a kind of, I don't mean to say that you're kind of better than anyone. I know this is what this is sounding like. I don't mean that. I just mean that your mind is on higher things. Your mind is on higher things. You're not happy to just be kind of in a little kind of treadmill going around and around, liking kind of trivial things like, the same kind of movies and the same whatever Netflix program and talking about kind of trivial things. You do, I don't mean that you don't ever talk about trivial things, you do. But generally your mind is kind of set a bit higher than that. And that's what I'm seeing in this Ace of Pentacles. Now, I think it took you a long time to get to this position, the spiritual position that you're in. And I think, you might have had some opposition to this, especially when you're kind of growing into this. Maybe when you're growing up, I'm seeing that maybe your family or people around you when you were younger might have given you some opposition to these kind of spiritual ideas that you had. And I think that made you very, very independent, extremely independent. And, you really, after that time, because you've had that experience, I think that maybe you are so independent that you're really afraid that anything might take away from that. I hope this is making sense. It's good to be independent. It's a very healthy thing to be independent. It really is. But maybe you might have had some problems getting close to people in relationships. Now, you might not have realized why this was. It might just have been some subconscious thing you had in your head, that if you became close to someone, you might lose yourself in them and lose your independence. That's what I'm seeing in this. Sorry about that motorbike going past. So yeah, I think there actually was someone here that wanted to get close to you. That's what I'm seeing. And you might have put up a kind of barrier between you. And I am getting this feeling, yeah, someone definitely wanted to come close to you at this time. And I think they probably still do now. And I think you might be talking to them. You might even be starting off in a relationship with them. It might be early days with this person. But I think you might be putting some kind of barrier between you and them. You might not be real, or this is in your past, but it might still be going on now. You might not realize that this is what you're doing, or you might realize that this is what you're doing and not quite know why you're doing it, or you might not know quite know how to stop doing that. I hope that makes sense. This is a really good person, actually. I'm seeing this as a really good person. They're a stable person, obviously with the Ace of Pentacles. They'd like to share that stability with you. They would really love to have that with you. They really do adore you. That's what I'm seeing. But they do feel like you are putting up some kind of barrier between you. That's what I'm seeing there. So the last card you have, your past is Strength. So yes, you did have barriers up again. Maybe this was subconsciously, and maybe you're kind of doing some kind of, don't be angry, but some kind of test. It might have been a subconscious kind of a test. Yeah, this might sound a bit strange, but I'll tell you what I'm seeing. Again, you fought for your beliefs. You really fought for your independence growing up. And I'm also seeing that might be a factor in why you're putting up this barrier. You don't want to lose that independence. That's what I'm seeing in the Ace of Pentacles. But also the other thing I'm seeing in this is that you had a past relationship. And I think this person might have left you. They might have even abandoned you. And I think one of the reasons was that it was because you were so strong, because of your strength. This person could not stand to have such a strong person as you there. They wanted to be the strong person. They tried to knock you down from your strength. That's what I'm seeing. And I think you're probably still, or you were at this time, going through some feelings, still kind of going through the process of kind of coming to terms with that. And you still had some of that kind of still in your mind a bit. So, you know, of course, anyone who abandons you because you're strong isn't worth having around, obviously. And I think your head knows that. And you don't want them back. It's not like that. You're just carrying around some of that past hurt and some of that past impression that that person gave you. That's what I'm seeing. But, you know, this new person isn't like that at all. They're not like that at all. They want to care for you. Look at the way this woman's caring for this lion. She's so gentle. She's so careful. So again, this person wanted stability with you. They still do probably. And also I'm seeing this infinity symbol above this woman's head. So they want to stay with you forever. They want to stay with you forever. If you just give them the chance to, they want to stay with you forever. They're not going to abandon you like this other person, and they don't want to leave you. That's the last thing on their mind. That's what I'm seeing. So the first card you have for your present is the Page of Wands. Yeah, so I'm seeing different things in this card, two different things actually. One thing is that, you know, you could be, I'm seeing movement because the wands are all about movement and all of that kind of thing. I'm not seeing you moving house or anything like that. This has something to do with your work. So it could be moving into a new work area or a new workplace. Maybe you have some kind of business set up at home or some space set up at home, or maybe you have a hobby set up at home or something like that, and you might be moving things around because I'm seeing desks moving, I'm seeing equipment moving, all of that kind of thing. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is, yes, I'm seeing, yeah, there is going to be a message coming to you if it hasn't already. This is going to come in quite quickly. It's going to be a message about someone who's very close to you, but they're probably not around you at this time. Otherwise, you'd know what this was about if you were speaking to them or around them at this time. Yeah, this is going to be a very specific message. I'll just tell you what I'm seeing. This is going to be about something that this person's done. Now, this might be a relative, this might be someone younger than you, this is someone who you're very close to, but they're not around you at this time. Again, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing they've done something, you're getting a message about what they've done, you're not going to be very happy about what they've done. Now, they're not in any danger, don't worry, there's no big serious problem or anything like that, but there is a problem. They've done something, and yeah, this person can be a bit immature, they can be a bit, they don't make the best decisions, that's what I'm seeing. So they've made a bad decision, they've done something without thinking, and it's put them in trouble. They're in some kind of trouble. Now, it's not serious, they're not in jail, it's not terrible, but they have done something. Now, this message is going to come in quite quickly. It's going to come in quite suddenly. You're going to be surprised at the message. You're going to be surprised at it coming in quickly. I don't think you're going to be shocked, though. You're not going to be shocked by what is actually in this message, because I think you know this person, and I think you know what this person's like. That's what I'm seeing in that. So the next card you have, your present, is the Lovers. So yeah, the Lovers can be about choices. Obviously, this is the Garden of Eden, and this is when Eve has to choose whether to listen to the snake and bite the apple or not. So you have a choice, I'm seeing, and I'm seeing this is a choice that you have to make around this person in the Page of Wands. So yeah, again, whoever this is, they're younger than you, they're not very mature, I keep on seeing that, and you might be asked to help this person out or come to rescue them or something like that in some way. But I think you really need to think about this quite carefully, actually. This isn't going to be an easy decision. I keep on seeing that, you're very spiritual. So that keeps on popping into my head. So if you're worrying about making this decision, you might want to meditate if this is what you do, or just get some quiet time to yourself to think about what to do. And again, I'm looking at this beautiful angel. So make a decision that comes from the best place, if that makes sense, your highest place. Now, your highest place might be to jump in and do whatever you can for them. But I think your highest place is probably to make a decision to help them in a way that's going to force them to help themselves. I hope that makes sense to you. The last card you have, your present, is the Knight of Swords. So yes, this person's done something very impulsive, they've rushed in, they've done something silly without thinking, they've gotten themselves into some kind of trouble or something like that. Now again, you're not shocked, I keep on seeing that. And again, I keep on seeing that you've been here before with them, so you've had to help them through something in the past, maybe something similar. But again, think very carefully before you jump in and rescue them like this knight. This knight's rushing in, but he doesn't look like he's under control of what's going on. So you want to be careful that you're under control of this and that you're doing the right thing. And you're thinking very carefully about this, making sure you make the right decision. And yeah, again, don't jump in and just kind of solve all their problems for them. There are different ways to help them that aren't as obvious. I hope that makes sense. Again, I'm not saying don't help people, I'm not saying that, but what I am seeing is that something like this has happened before. I keep on seeing that. And you've been in this position before, and if you do the same thing that you've done before, you're going to be in this position again in the future. I mean, a few months down the line, they might not have learned from whatever they've done. Obviously, they haven't this time because they've done this before. And if you don't change the way that you help them or deal with them, they're probably going to have the same problem happen again, or they'll do the same thing again, because I'm not seeing they're going to learn from this unless you do something that helps them to help themselves. I really hope this is making sense to you. So the first card you have for your future is the Emperor. So yeah, I'm seeing you're going to have to get to the bottom of this in some way. You're going to have to get to the truth behind exactly what's happened before you make a decision. Now, I'm seeing that about this person in the Page of Wands. So I'm seeing some serious talks happening, and I'm seeing some talks happening between three people. You, the person who has made this bad decision, and another person as well. This might be another relative. Now, yeah, I'm seeing very serious conversations. I'm seeing that you're going to take a lot of emotion out of this, because the Emperor is not about emotions. He's about getting to the facts, getting to the truth, moving forward, doing something serious, no emotions at all. So yeah, you're focusing on facts. And you do care about this person. I keep on seeing that. You've helped them before, so you do care about this person. And yeah, you and somebody else just wants facts only before you make a decision. And the person who has made this kind of silly decision, gotten themselves into trouble, they can also tell stories. They can also try to tell stories to get themselves out of things. You know that. You know this about them. This other person also does. And that's why you're sticking to the facts, like this Emperor in these talks. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your future is the Hanged Man. So yes, again, this Hanged Man can be about a lot of different things: holding back, waiting, and sometimes it can be about someone who tells stories to try and take attention away from something bad that they've done. They're trying to hide things, because this Hanged Man has his hands behind his back, so he looks like he's hiding something. So yeah, I think you know that this is what this person might do. I think you know that this person tells stories. That's why you're getting to the facts. And I think you're going to be prepared for them to do that. You're going to be ready. And I think you're going to recognize that when it comes. You're going to know that that's what they're going to be doing. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is, I'm seeing passion in this card. Look at this man's red trousers, bright red. So there's passion in this, but having to wait for this passion. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing this person in this love connection in the Ace of Pentacles is still going to be waiting. They have a lot of passion. They're interested in you. They want to settle with you. They want a future, a stable future with you. They're also very patient. That's what I'm seeing. And I think I saw this person in your last reading, actually. So if this resonates, this person's waiting at this time. They're very patient, but they're not going to be patient for the rest of their lives. So at some stage, you're going to have to make a decision about this person. And I think your physicality is close to them. So you are talking to them. It's like you're with them. You're starting a relationship with them. You might have been physical with them. You might still be passionate with them. But they are still feeling a barrier between you and them having a proper, full-on, serious relationship with you. That's what I'm seeing with that as well. Now, they're waiting now. They're patient with you now, but they're not going to keep on being like that forever. That's what I'm seeing. So the last card you have for your future is the Five of Cups. Yes. Yeah. This very impulsive person, this person in the Knight of Swords who kind of rushed in and did some silly thing, bad thing, they do feel regret about this, and they are going to keep on feeling that regret, you know, in the future. So yeah, they might not be, they feel regret, that's what they feel, but they're not going to be appreciating or understanding how much you've helped them and how much other people have helped them as well in the past. So that's going to be a big part of whether you're going to help them and how you're going to help them. You still need to work through a lot of things with this person, and I'm seeing that there is going to be a kind of a falling out between you and this person, and maybe between the other person who is in this meeting and this impulsive person. So 3 people falling out, because I'm seeing these 3 cups falling over. But it won't last. I mean, you're going to get back and you're going to talk again. This bridge is still there, so they're going to come back and talk to you all again. But you're still going to have a lot of talks. You're still going to have to kind of really think very carefully about how you're going to help this person, because they haven't learned. They haven't learned from their past mistakes when you helped them last time, because here they are back in the situation again. And also I'm seeing in this card is that they don't appreciate the help that people are giving them, and they're also falling out. So you still have a long way to go with this person. And I think you were right to really think very carefully before you went ahead and rescued them, as I see in the Knight of Swords. And you're still right to keep on